I'm gonna abuse you domestically, like Chris Brown the rapper.
So another one of ImAlexx's exes has come out saying that she was in a super toxic relationship with Alex. I'm not really surprised, to be honest. And of course, this is following Alice Hez making her tweet and posting that Google document with 82 pages explaining her entire relationship, alleging that ImAlexx was abusive and manipulative and very toxic.
Like
I
this
didn't
is all
mean
just
it.
me, and that's something you really need to fucking fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up. Because this.
But Annie, who is a pretty big YouTuber with over 600,000 subscribers, tweeted this saying, "My experience with ImAlexx," linking another Google Docs. Fortunately, this time it's only 2 pages instead of 82, so it won't take as long to go over, so we'll go over that really quickly. She said, "My experience with ImAlexx, though we never confirmed it to the public because I personally like keeping my relationships private, I dated Alex from June 2017 till March 2018. It was the most toxic relationship I've ever been in, and I was lucky to get out of it when I did. When we were dating, though he was from England and I lived in America, we were pretty much never apart for longer than a week. We stayed in Europe for a couple of months, then went to America for 6 months. He couldn't stay 6 months straight due to visa implications, so he stayed 3 months, flew back to England for a few days, then came back to America for another 3 months. After the 6 months was over and he couldn't come to America again for a while due to visa requirements, we spent some time away from each other. And during that time, with help of my friends, I came to the realization that I was in the worst and most toxic relationship I had ever been in, and I had to get out. It started out great, as they always do, the honeymoon phase as they call it, but as time went on, things got worse and worse. I was fortunate to get out when I did, but reading all the new information that's come out, he's clearly gotten worse. During the relationship, he made me feel insane, like I wasn't myself anymore. It never felt like he listened to me. I always felt belittled and inferior. Whenever we recorded videos together, he would constantly talk over me and never let me have my moment. Most of the time when I had problems, he always somehow made it about himself or talked about his own issues. He would get stressed over his YouTube channel constantly and complain about uploading as if it was the hardest job on the planet, and no one had it harder than him. His classic line was, "I can't catch a effing break." If we ever had a disagreement, he would also sometimes allude to the possibility of seppuku over minor conflicts as a threat, so I couldn't continue with the conversation. It was nearly impossible to give him any kind of criticism because it was like adding to the pile of minor issues that he had already blown far out of proportion in his head. Another thing he did was spin his own narrative and twist words. He didn't do this in the relationship, but he did it in his work and with his friends. It was the main reason why many people stopped talking to him, because we started to realize that when there was even the smallest amount of drama he heard about it, he would make sure to involve himself, even if the subject was absolutely nothing to do with him, and he would just make everything so much worse. For example, the Slazo situation. Though it was never said in the original statement by Shay, he somehow came to the conclusion that it was our word and everyone else got the blame for saying his words. Somehow the situation went from being guilty of being a bad boyfriend to all of a sudden he's a rapist. This was the final nail in the coffin, and I cut all contact with him after that. During our relationship, I bought him and I matching Alex and Annie bracelets for Valentine's Day because I was like, oh neat, a company with both our names. You can see him pressing the heart on the bracelet to his lips in his Back to Nothing video, which he has since taken down from his channel, and she links the video right here. I would start at 4. I'll also attach the video here in case that link gets removed. We'll go ahead and read the rest of this before I click on the video. This video was released as a response to me breaking up with him. He uploaded this video after I stopped talking to him as a way of trying to guilt me into replying to him. He did to me what he has done in relationships with Alice, where he would fly off the handle and get mad, then act all apologetic and sad to try to get me to feel sorry for him and forgive everything he had said and done. Lastly, the only time he ever laid a finger on me was when he grabbed me as I was trying to run away from a conflict. We were trying to record a YouTube video together and he was getting frustrated at having to restart recording multiple times. He started shouting and beating his fist on the table, even going as far as to break his microphone. I was scared, so I got up to leave the room, which is when he grabbed my arm to physically stop me. I remember saying, "You grabbed my arm," several times in shock, as if to say, who the F would ever grab someone like that? Once again, I was fortunate that that was the only time something like that ever happened. I got out before it got even worse, as it clearly has with the new information that's come out. It saddens me that it's all come this far. I wish Alice the best privately, and it breaks my heart to have seen all the things she had gone through. I hope Alice's and my story show you what he was really like behind the scenes. If you're in an abusive relationship, please get out now. You can't fix them. I'm no psychologist, but I feel like ImAlexx has got some bipolar disorder issues and some anger issues, of course, and probably some narcissistic tendencies. That's just what I would assume. Of course, I have no history in the mental health field, so that is all I will say about some of the things I believe he struggles with.
I think the worst part is that about 2 months ago, I for the first time in a year, I felt like I was truly happy. And that I had it all working out, and that I had it all sorted, and then I come back here and within the first week everything has just been, it's like a train just running through me, just like, you know, I feel punished for wanting to do more, ever thinking that I could, ever believing in myself, you know. And it's eating at me, and I've got so much to do, and you know, I want to be my best self so that other people can have a good day, you know.
So as you can kind of see, it's the same sort of vibe that we were getting from whenever we went over the 82 documents of Alice's allegations. The same kind of breaking down to try to get them to come back to him. Now, another thing I'll say is Annie's documents and her allegations, we really need to take with a grain of salt because there's not really any proof to that. It's basically just hearsay. It's just he said, she said, unlike Alice, who had pages and pages of evidence and proof to back it up. So we can't really trust Annie's word per se until we get more proof, especially because of what she did 4 years ago with Slazo. As you can see, she mentioned Slazo and blamed Alex for it, but she took Alex's point of view with basically no evidence and ran with it, and also was calling Slazo all these things. I don't know a whole lot about it because I wasn't really around during that time. I didn't hear about the drama, but Annie was one of the main perpetrators of attacking Slazo. Even after Slazo disputed all of that and came back and proved that it was all false, she doubled down and wouldn't let it go and kept saying he was still to blame and was still an abuser. So we must take Annie's word with a grain of salt because she doesn't seem to be the best role model, the best character. Her morals are a little shifted, at least back then it was, and even in the replies to her tweet, people were saying they won't forget about that and you can't get out of this situation, and people are really trying to keep her accountable, but she refuses to take any accountability for what happened. She's just trying to shift it all to blame to ImAlexx now, it seems like. But nobody forced you to make a video and also call out Slazo on these baseless accusations with no evidence. And also I hope that ImAlexx will go get professional help. Anyway, I've repeated myself a bunch of times, I'm starting to get redundant, but that's all I really had to say about the situation. Another ex-girlfriend of ImAlexx has come forward saying it was super toxic. I mean, nobody's surprised, and we'll see if any more come out. You know, maybe there will be a third. Just keep your eyes peeled on Twitter. And we're still waiting for ImAlexx's response. Maybe that's what he's doing throughout this time. He's being silent. Hopefully he'll come back and say something, and we'll see if there's actual proof to all these allegations. Although, no matter what proof he comes out with, there's still a lot of evidence on Alice's documents that still shows that he was not a good person. So no matter what he says about her, it's still not going to be okay for Alex anyway. That's all I had to say. Again, make sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, your enemies, whoever you want really, and yeah, see ya.